Hello everyone and welcome to another in and out video. This time we're gonna talk about February because it's March already, and somehow I can't believe that almost 20% of the year is already over. But let's get started. So let's start with the things that have come into my life in February. So first one that you don't know anything of yet, that you can't know. When I came home from Switzerland, and I'm gonna talk a bit more about that soon, I picked up this book in a public bookshelf because it sounded interesting. It's about the climate crisis and solutions. And the interesting thing about this book is that I saw it hasn't been released at the point this was printed, and then it says for example, dedication to come. And it also says uncorrected proof, not for copy or resale. So I'm gonna read it. I'm sure it's still, it's still a good book and you can read it like this. But I've never seen a book like this. Is this a common thing, to publish a book that's not published? Interesting. When I was in Switzerland, I got some it was almost spam mail actually. They asked for donations. But in this mail, there were these things. And I thought they're colorful and maybe I can use them for my diary. Whenever I journal and have a picture or something to attach or to put to the entry, I thought I can use these colorful things to secure it there. I also picked up this for sewing difficult stuff. I already forget how it's called again. Somebody commented it. Thank you so much. I'm going to look it up again and try to memorize this word. And that was actually something from my grandma that she left in her flat, and then she moved to a retirement home. And so that was just something nobody used anymore. So I took it with me. And then, before I get to the colorful stuff, let me talk about some pieces that have come into my life from Organic Basics. So I decided to give them another chance. I already explained, I think, in my video collaborating with them. I know maybe you remember if you watch my videos that I said I'm not sure if I'm going to collaborate with them again, but I did decide to give them another chance for the reasons that, for me, it seems like they're really trying to be a sustainable brand. They're not changing their suppliers. They're not changing their factories. They have the same values, invest into the same projects and things like that. And so I think, it's still the same sustainable brand, even though the owner changed. And also because it's just a valuable partner of mine. The communication was always great up until when the owner changed and they were legally not allowed to contact influencers and customers and anyone. So that was a problem, of course, for customers and for influencers. But they also kind of couldn't do anything about it. I still support this brand. I still love their pieces. And this is from their new Tencel collection. So this is a new color that they have, which I really like. And it's this mock neck t-shirt. I want to have some more t-shirts because that's one of two t-shirts I have, with sleeves, and otherwise I just have tops. Then this is a pair of comfortable pants. I already wore them in Switzerland to go climbing and just here around the house. They're super comfortable, but it's still very cold here. And so they're a bit too light for this season. But in summer, I'm sure I'll get a lot of use out of them. And then the third thing that I got from them is what I'm wearing underneath here. It's a long sleeve. And it's a bit oversized, the body part. And I really, really like the cut. And I'm gonna show you some clips of all of these pieces. But as always, I do have a 10% code and you can use that to get 10% off your order. And it's gonna be down below in the description. So check it out if you want something from Organic Basics, if you want to support me and my channel and the sustainable brand, and if you need something, of course. And then the last thing that has come into my life in February is a bunch of yarn. And now I know I said that I don't want any more yarn. So this is also from my grandma and from cleaning out her apartment. And this is all 100% wool yarn or sock yarn. And so I have these 4 red skeins. And this is not a color that I would wear, and the same goes for these 5 pink skeins. But I thought like it's still a great yarn. It feels really, really soft, and I'm sure I can make like something beautiful out of it that hopefully someone else wants to wear. Then this yarn I actually don't know, but it's soft, and I guess it's all wool since she has almost only wool yarn. These two are like also normal wool, like normal yarn into blue colors, very beautiful. I'm also looking forward to doing like some kind of a scrap project or like a sweater with like 10 different colors. We'll see when that will happen. And this is just a bunch of sock yarn that I can either make socks, colorful socks out of, or also use for like a sweater or something like that. So it's a bunch of stuff. And yeah, I said I didn't want to have any more yarn, but this was for free and this is for my grandma and I didn't pay any money. So on that, like I thought like it just makes sense to take it, even though I did not plan on getting more yarn. But on the other hand, yeah, because I did not plan on getting more yarn, and because, you know, there's a reason why I didn't want to have more yarn, I don't know what I really want to do with it right now, because my storage is full and I don't want to give my yarn even more space, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just I have a lot of yarn. So I also have still some knitted things that if you want them, take a look at my shop and see if there's something for you. And take a look at my Instagram where I have like some yarn to knit something. You can also write me on Instagram or something like that if you saw like a yarn right here that you want me to make something out of. I'm not really gonna go search for more yarn, but I really want to use my stash and make as many things as possible for, you know, people who will enjoy them. So this in and out video obviously usually has an in part and an out part, and the out part this month is empty again. So there's nothing I'm decluttering, but actually there have been a few things that I'm thinking about. But because they're kind of like bigger things to declutter, I haven't made the final decision. So I need to give it some more thought, see how I would like theoretically do without those. So I haven't decluttered them yet. But there's I think I will be decluttering some things in the future. And then for like the part of this video where I share a bit more about my everyday life, about my feelings, what I've done this month. So February was interesting. If you remember like last month's in and out video, and I can link it up here for you to check out if you're interested. I talked about how motivated I was in January, like that I usually don't feel this like new year energy. But this year it was just really a productive month and I started a lot of new things. So I started writing my book again and I started my Patreon, and what else? I made the decision with my knitting business to change some things, and I changed like some little bits and parts of my website. But I was so motivated and that was great. And then in February, I also launched my podcast, which of course has been in the works in January as well. Like it's great to change stuff and put stuff into action that I've been thinking about for many years. But of course it also adds to the things that I'm doing, and mostly in a good way. Like I hope you checked out the podcast. If not, it's always going to be linked down in the description so you can check it out. This podcast is co-hosted by me and I'm doing it with Paulina, and my boyfriend Matze is like doing the editing part, so that it, you know, that is just, I don't know if I had the time to also edit a podcast every single week. So that was great. More stuff coming, you know, my brand is evolving. But on the other hand, I do have to say like this month, I was not that motivated. I had to push myself to do stuff. And what also I think added to that was that even in January, or kind of over the past, I don't know, 6 months, I think I got clearer on kind of what content I want to make on this YouTube channel, what I actually, you know, enjoy making, which videos, which kind of content, which topic, but it doesn't perform well. So my views have been dropping significantly. February was my worst month in terms of revenue in like 2 years. And that's part of it is normal in the beginning of the year. It's just the number of views, like videos are always performing so bad. And it's just, you know, you put in all of this work and it doesn't really pay off. And now I don't want to sound ungrateful. You know, I started my Patreon. I have like some amazing support over there. So thank you for like to everybody who's a patron. Also, thank you for everybody who's watching this video. You know, you are an active part of my group of people, of my subscribers, of my audience that actually is interested in my content. And also the people who have been like giving super thanks and writing comments and things like that. But in general, and that's the interesting thing, right? I'm talking to you, but mostly I mean all the people that are not watching. And I don't blame anyone, you know, you're free to do with your time, and I don't want to blame the algorithm. But it's just been a bit frustrating. It's just been a bit frustrating that kind of I'm putting in the same work or even more work, and I think I'm getting like closer to what I want to do, but it's just not paying off. It's not performing well in any way. Yeah. So that also takes just more motivation to push through, and I'm sure it will change again. And I'm confident that I either will succeed with this business and YouTube channel or will find another solution, you know? That's what it will be. But I just hope there's gonna be a more enjoyable season when it comes to this YouTube channel soon. And then the other thing I did in February was visit my family in Switzerland. So my son had a week off school, and that's the time we took kind of to go to Switzerland to see them again. And that was nice. That was really beautiful. I also went for a sunrise hike in Switzerland, as I've been like, I think I watched 2 or 3 sunrises, like intentionally went out for the sunrise in February, and they were beautiful. So I experienced some beautiful nature, visited my family while I did some traveling, which is also something I love, even though, you know, that's the most boring kind of travel, because this journey I've been back and forth 100 times, I think, through my like long distance relationship and now living here and going back to visit family. But it's still, that's been nice. Like, I like traveling. I like seeing people that I haven't seen in a long time. I like experiencing nature. So I think February, on one hand, it was great because I lived in a way I want to live, like with traveling and meeting people and being nature and being self-employed. And on the other hand, it was a bit frustrating because I did lack some motivation and my content didn't perform well, and I actually lost subscribers, like actually lost. I always lose subscribers, but I like lost more than I gained for the very first time with my YouTube channel this month. We'll see. I'm looking forward to spring, to when it finally gets a bit warmer, because oh, my hands are cold. It's cold in here. And I do hope that you had a great February, and I hope March is going to be better in ways that February was not so great, and it's going to be great in ways that February was great. And you can also let me know how your month was and what you would like to see here on my YouTube channel. And yeah, just, thank you for being here. And I am gonna link you a video here that you can check out. And otherwise, I'm gonna see you in my next video. Bye.